Years spent cultivating a partnership with the public is being credited for a significant drop in the murder rate and other major crimes. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is also boasting of an increase in the detection rate. Hello everyone, welcome to the CTV News on Calabash TV and on the Wave Radio 94.5. I'm Valentine Dantes in for Lisa Joseph. The top brass of the police force on Wednesday released the crime statistics for 2014. Overall, there were 20,024 incidents of crime reported last year. This represents a 5.5% increase over the figures of 2013. The increase is due to petty offenses. Inspector Eddie Monlouis of the Crime Intelligence Unit says, despite the overwhelming workload, the force was able to improve on its detection rate by 3%.
This is commendable, since this is the second consecutive year that the police department has been able to increase its detection rate. But what is even more admirable is that the increase in detection rate remains steady at 3% despite a year of many challenges, particularly resource constraints.
There were 29.85% of murders, 3.9% of police shootings, and 2.6% of unclassified cases. The central part of the country had the highest number, at 62% of homicides.
The northern sector recorded 5 murders, and we speak of Grosile and Babono jurisdiction. Central sector recorded 17, and the southern sector recorded 7. %50 of these murders were committed in the city area. In terms of the detection rate in murder cases, there was 47% detection rate, which represents an increase in detection rate of 3% over 2013.
Furthermore, firearms and sharp objects were the predominant weapons in the assaults, with victims ranging in age from 29 to 40 years. And the police force has stricken one case off the list of unsolved homicides, taking the rate from 30 to 29 for 2014. Deputy Police Commissioner Francis Henry explained the decision.
The incident which occurred on the last day of July of 2014, emanating out of View Fort. On completion of an investigation, it is procedural that the file is submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, who is charged with the responsibility of preferring an indictment. Upon receipt of that file, we just received word that she has now ordered an inquest in this matter, and that is why now we would like to characterize it as being other rather than just say it's not a murder. So now this matter is going to be sent to be dealt with by the way of an inquiry, an inquest. And then depending on the outcome of the inquest, then there might just be a need again to further adjust our stats. So as of now, it is 29.
In other developments in the police force, the Office of the Commissioner is pressing on with the promotions process despite threat of a legal challenge from the Police Welfare Association. Last December, the association placed the hierarchy on notice that it was prepared to seek an injunction against the process, claiming that it was unfair to officers. But Deputy Police Commissioner Errol Alexander at Wednesday's press conference informed that the application phase is complete and a list of candidates is being prepared for examination by the end of February.
Those persons who are successful at the exams would attend an interview and a team exercise. And on completion of the interview and team exercise, the scores will be again collated and the results would be submitted to the Commissioner of Police with reference to the successful applicants. This year, we are using the Cabinet Conclusion Guidelines. 2000 Cabinet Conclusion number 353 of 2013. That is what we are using this year. Unlike the last promotion process, we were using guidelines that were created by the RSLPF. So it is a totally different situation altogether, and I hope that everybody have an appreciation of what the cabinet conclusion is all about. At least it is a form of policy that we have to follow as best as possible to the T.
On the vexing issue of discipline, the Deputy Commissioner conceded that it is a problem because complaints are not only being received externally, but internally as well.
With an organization like ours, we need to actually institute the discipline and institute it in such a way that we help punish persons for undesirable behavior and behavior that does not conform to the rules and regulations of the organization. And in so saying, we had a number of 72 matters adjudicated for the year 2014. And the results of the 72 matters, we had a number of 26 officers being fined. I want to say that the process for the adjudication is a similar process as what is being done by the magistrates at court. So basically it's an internal court process. And some of these matters would not be dealt with today for tomorrow. Some of these matters may take some time to be dealt with depending on the level and the type of evidence that is necessary for the conclusion of these matters. We are hoping to have a lot more successes this year. Why more successes this year is because some of the matters that were up for hearing last year, some of them should, closure should be put to some of these matters sometime by the end of April this year.
And against that backdrop, the Commissioner of Police, Vernon Fassoir, indicated that a major overhaul of standing procedures and protocols will be undertaken in this new year.
We have put together a number of projects, and we are looking at continuation of our community town hall meetings, our press conferences, also the Commissioner of Police parade where we reward police officers for good work. Also, we propose to continue with our police week of activities, and then also continue along the line of intelligence-driven policing and also use of technology in policing. And it's very important for our intel-driven policing, use of technology and support from the St. Lucian public. We are quite confident that we're going to, like I said, achieve a reduction in the crimes for 2015. In terms of new projects that we are proposing to undertake this year, we are working now on putting together an accreditation process for the police department, and that is really a system of benchmark where we are going to document and review all of our procedures.
After persistent public criticism, a special unit to investigate criminal allegations against officers will be established.
As you're aware, at the moment, our complaints unit has the responsibility of investigating complaints by members of the public, but they are limited to complaints. If there is a criminal report against a police officer, at the moment it's reverted to our major crimes unit or some other police unit for investigation. But we want to focus on having a dedicated unit to focus on investigating matters involving police officers. And it is not a witch hunt. We are not after getting police officers, but we understand too that whereas largely across the board, a number of our police officers are focused on doing good work and helping to make St. Lucia a better place, we also recognize that there are a few among us that are involved in negative behavior, a few among us that are involved in trying to bring down the efforts that we are making in the police department. So we are committed to dealing with these people, not only through the work of the complaints unit, as I indicated, but through having a dedicated unit to deal with criminal matters against police officers.
That was Police Commissioner Vernon Fassoir ending our focus on the Annual Crime Statistics Report 2014. Stay with CTV News. Coming up, a $2.8 million housing project at Bois de Ouage to alleviate the housing crunch.